This place is called home, and my name is Nellie Stoyanova. I used to be a commercial farmer in Lusaka West, but I sold the farm and decided to retire here. What I'm doing now is I'm doing research into new methods of farming in order to implement it at my children's farm in Chisamba, where we have greenhouses. Here practically everything is grown. The research I have done is mainly in hydroponics. A comparison between hydroponically grown vegetables and vegetables grown in the soil. Since we don't have proper soil mix for hydroponic vegetables here, like perlite, vermiculite, it's very difficult to find it. So I decided to try and make different mixes from available materials, like mainly gravel with a different proportion of coco peat in it, and see which one is going to perform better. I see how much is it going to cost, the coco peat per plant. Though coco peat is reusable, you can use it maybe for 10 years. It's sold in a block at Zambian Fertilizers, that's where I buy it from. But when you add water, you get 3.5 20-liter buckets from it. And I have done different proportions. I have done 30% and 50% with coco peat. So I want to calculate how much is going to cost me the medium, how much is it going to cost me the fertilizer, and what the production will be, how the vegetables are going to perform in the different medium, and see which is the best. Is it feasible to do it in commercial scale? I have started growing plants, I think from 10 years old. It's a passion. It's a passion, it's a lifelong passion. Look at my place. I'm growing vegetables on the concrete. I have no more place where to put plants, and I have 2 plots here. It's a passion. And another thing for me is so peaceful, it is so fulfilling. Another thing, economics. Right now in this plot I'm growing every vegetable you can think of. Every vegetable you can think of. I don't buy vegetables. Economical. I save a lot of money. There are different methods of hydroponics. There is the NFT system, or nutrient film technique, where you grow the vegetables in running water, in a small film of water, which needs a constant pumping the vegetables all the time. It's a very much commercially viable method used in America, in Europe. It's a very, very good method. Another method is Dutch buckets. Dutch buckets you use in organic medium. The roots of the plant go, there is no nutrients in the medium. You use, for both NFT and Dutch buckets, you use hydroponic mix, which is a soluble fertilizer. Usually with Dutch buckets, again a pump is needed, water is recirculated. It goes through the inorganic medium and it goes back to the place where the pump is, the sump, where the pump is pumping from. So it's extremely economical for water method. It's very suitable for areas that don't have enough water to irrigate, because it uses like less than 10% of the water needed for field growing. Vegetables grow twice as fast as in the ground. Like lettuce, you can harvest 30 days. In the ground, you need minimum 45 to 2 months to 60 days. It's also economical to grow hydroponically because I have done calculations. Let me explain first. This system is called Kratky method. This was designed by a professor in Hawaii called Kratky. Kratky method, you grow vegetables just in water. The way these vegetables are grown, just in water with soluble fertilizer inside. That method is not, you can use it also for long-term crops like cucumbers, tomato, eggplant, but I don't think it's economical to use it as a long crop. It's very suitable for short crops like lettuce, bok choy, arugula. It's good to grow leaf lettuce in the Kratky method because leaf lettuce, you need around 4 liters of water to grow to completion one lettuce plant, and it takes 30 days. Now, if you are going to buy not head lettuce like the iceberg, but leaf lettuce like butter crunch, you can have continuous harvesting. They are selling leaf lettuce in ShopRite, and it's done hydroponically. There is a gentleman here on Leopards Hill Road that grows hydroponically just lettuce. So, advantage of growing lettuce with that method is that you have continuous harvesting. You pick up the outer leaves, you sell them, come back after 3-4 days, pick up again. Like this lettuce I have here that is grown Kratky method, now is 3 months old. I'm still picking. Apart from the fact that it comes a time when the lettuce become old. You see, how much do you pay for lettuce when you buy it from the market? It is around 10 kwacha, the cheapest lettuce, nice big head of lettuce, cheapest. Other places is more expensive. Now, if you use this Kratky method, you grow for 1 kwacha 4 heads of lettuce, and you have continuous harvesting. What happens is you use 1 teaspoon of alpha fertilizer and 1 teaspoon of beta fertilizer in 5 liters of water. You dissolve it, you put your, and this method is also called set it and forget it. Why it is called that is once you put your vegetable inside, you don't touch it. You just harvest, you don't water, you don't do anything at all. Set it and forget it. Kratky method is called passive hydroponics. You do not need a pump, you do not need electricity, you do not need any. Once you put your seedling in the hydroponic solution, you don't need to do anything. It's an extremely good method for growing lettuce commercially, even if you are a small-scale farmer, even for the home garden. It's a fantastic method. Another important points in Kratky method is you need to isolate the container in which you are going to grow your vegetables with either paint it black or cover it with a black plastic. Reason is that you have hydroponic solution inside and algae starts growing and chokes the roots of the plant. So you must not allow light to go inside the container. What is the principle of vegetables growing in Kratky method? You put your vegetable in a small cup with some inert material, maybe stones, crushed brick or gravel, but not limestone, it's soluble. You put your seedling inside, make sure the roots are showing off. The cup must have some slits on the bottom so the roots can come out. And you just put it, the roots to be touching the water. As the plant grows, the water in the container is exhausted. The level starts reducing. As a result, the plant develops two types of roots. One type is air roots. The second type is the feeder roots. The roots that are above the water, they intake oxygen for the plant. And the roots that are in the water, they feed the plant. Now, if you should get fertilizer solution and fill that container, which is, let's say, half full with fertilizer, and fill it up to the top, you are going to drown your plant. You're going to kill it. Because you are going to, there is going to be no oxygen going to the roots. So that's why it is important to use short-term crops. There are ways to do long-term crops, Kratky method. You put a drum and you put a pipe from the drum, you put your solution inside, you make a long box lined with plastic, and then you buy one of those cisterns. That's my own invention. They sell those float switches in America, but I couldn't find it here. So I bought the one with the bowl for the toilet cistern. You connect your pipe there and you put it inside the liquid. So as the water goes down, that float switch is going to maintain constant level in the container. I am doing Kratky method. I am doing my own version of Dutch buckets. That's what I'm doing. I am growing hydroponically in gravel. Basically gravel with a little bit of cocoa peat. Some of them I have done coarse river sand. Some of them I have done in building sand. Hydroponics don't require as much space as vegetables grown in the ground. Right now, abroad, Europe, America, majority of the crops are grown in greenhouses, hydroponically. When I decided to do hydroponics, I started searching all over town for soluble fertilizers suitable for hydroponics. I didn't find it anywhere until I called Zambian Fertilizers. There are some other companies which I found when I was Googling. None of them had in bulk hydroponic fertilizer. The only place I found it, and the only place I know up to date that has got hydroponic fertilizer, is Zambian Fertilizers. Advantage of hydroponic fertilizers, even for growing vegetables in the ground, for me is that usually, how does a farmer grow tomato in the ground? You put different type of fertilizers like urea, D-compound, you add some trace elements, perhaps if he's a good farmer, at different stages of the development of the tomato. At flowering stage, some phosphorus and potassium needs to be added. Now with these fertilizers, the advantage is everything is there. You have the proper ratio of nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, together with all the trace elements you can need. That is the alpha solution of Kinox. In the beta solution, you have your calcium and nitrogen supplements in the beta solution. So you need to use two solutions. Usually for different type of vegetables, different proportions of fertilizers are needed. So far, I've been happy because I have been able to grow any kind of vegetable with that fertilizer. It is very important to measure pH and ppm of your fertilizer solution at least one time in the beginning. I have pH meter and ppm TDS meter. Borehole water in Zambia, usually the pH is 8.4. Majority of the places, apart from those places that are in mountain area which have got volcanic rocks, there the pH of the water is less. But here in Lusaka area and similar areas in Zambia where you find laterite, when you dig deep down, it's limestone. Limestone is soluble and increases the pH of the water. So to bring the pH of the water down to 6, which is the optimal pH, when preparing the fertilizer mixture, I add 1 teaspoon of either spirit of salt or hydrochloric acid, battery acid. It's very little, but it makes a big difference. Honestly speaking, lettuce, I have never had any pests on it outside. Bok choy, it gets aphids. It's very prone to aphids. And what I have been spraying is neem oil. My belief is that for you to grow vegetables, you need to be very thorough. I know some people try to economize, save 100 kwacha here, save 100 kwacha there. But in farming, economizing is good, but if you do the wrong time of economizing, like reduce on your fertilizer, reduce on your insecticides and fungicides, that 100 kwacha you have saved is going to cost you probably 1,000 kwacha in profits when you start selling your vegetables. So I would advise everybody, don't make shortcuts with vital inputs. I try to use 3 different types of fungicide and 3 different types of insecticide. I rotate insecticide 1, then 2, then 3, depending on how it is, weekly or every 10 days. The same with the fungicide. I use 3 different fungicides. I use copper, I use sulfur and baking soda. I try to use organic fungicides. Neem oil is my main insecticide. Then I have abamectin. Abamectin is from the family of abamectins, together with ivermectin. Abamectin is a sister chemical to ivermectin. They have practically the same composition. So I don't know if our farmers are aware, but that is also organic.